It's time for Lumberjacks!
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. K100, for all your gas-powered equipment, make water burn. Yamaha, rev your heart.
We're here for the second part of the Johnny Appleseed Festival Lumberjack competition in beautiful Sheffield, Pennsylvania. We got a great field of competitors, 77 in total, competing for over $14,000 in prize money. This week we're covering the standing block chop, the women's endurance, and the springboard chop. Every Columbus Day in the United States and Thanksgiving in Canada, 5,000 to 10,000 people flock to this little town of Sheffield, Pennsylvania for the Johnny Appleseed Festival, a tremendous competition of lumberjack sports. Just before the show got started, I had a chance to talk to Mike Slingerland. Mike, the Johnny Appleseed Festival has been growing the last couple of years, and the talent level here is almost second to none. All the big hitters are here. And just tell me about the importance of the wood selection at a competition where the talent level is so high.
Well, the guys are so good here. Everyone's pretty even in skill level. We've got all the top guys from the U.S. Series, top guys from the Canadian Series. Everything is right at an elite level. So you need closely matched wood and bigger wood to sort out, who's really the best.
Well, we had a good start to the competition last week with Arden Cogar Jr. leading the way with 125 points. We got a solid field of competitors with 100 points trying to track him down. I'm joined in the booth this week by Lumberjack sport analyst Rod Cumberland. And Rod, we're heading into the Springboard chop. We had over 30 competitors in the Springboard chop. We're going to be showing the top two heats featuring this first heat, Dave Jewett and Arden Cogar Jr.
Again, great field of competitors. The best from Canada are here. Obviously, Mitch Hewitt, world champ springboard cutter, he's here. So they know he's coming up in a later heat. These guys have got to turn it on, get a really good time to try to stay ahead of Mitch.
Now, both these guys, Arden Cogar and Dave Jewett, are trying to keep up with the young guys right now, and they're getting a great start in the springboard chop. Arden Cogar Jr. admittedly is afraid of heights. Dave Jewett's looking really strong in the springboard chop.
He's got a good, strong top board, and he's going to need it because they have a big block of wood here at the top. The pine is very large, 12, 13, actually might even be 14 inches on top of this.
Big slab of wood coming off the Dave Jewett's log there. That shows him that the wood is good. The wood's going to move quite freely. He had to free away that chip because it's a dangerous situation. You don't want to glance your axe off it.
You can also see Don Lambert and Marcel Dupuis, good Canadian competitors here in this heat. But Dave Jewett is way out in front right now as he gets into the smaller wood. Arden Cogar just getting started taking out his first chips.
Dave Jewett well into the small wood here. He's going to be making his turn very shortly. Cogar Jr. just opening up his front face here in the springboard chop.
Well, Dave's getting into the small wood now, so he has to start thinking about how to get his drivers in there. He wants to make sure he clears out his far wood so it comes. See him here taking 2 more chips on that far side because you want that block to come off smoothly when he makes his switch over to side number 2.
We have a tremendous heat here in the first heat of the springboard chop. Dave Jewett taking on Arden Cogar Jr. 3 others in this heat. Cogar Jr. struggling. Dave Jewett's going to win this first heat of the springboard chop, slices things off, reaches for the far side. He wins it at a time of 120.4. Cogar Jr. struggling to the finish. Dave, you got to be happy with that climb, especially the first notch being only 4 hits.
Yeah, it was a fast 4 hits. When you get the best guy in the world, Mitch Hewitt, watching you, you just tell yourself, don't make it. Don't screw up. And so a lot of times hitting it harder, you're more accurate. So I hit him as hard as I could, and it was a good 4 hits. And that just gets momentum going. This event is like, it's like getting on a bike. The faster you go, the more steady, the more comfortable you are. And if you slow down, you lose balance, you miss hit. So in this event, speed is your friend, controlled speed.
Well, you can see the pressure that Dave Jewett felt because he knows Mitch Hewitt's going to be watching him in that heat, and he's going to be coming up in this final heat of the springboard chop. It's going to be Mitch Hewitt, Matt Cogar, and Nathan Waterfield in this heat. This should be a tremendous heat, but Mitch Hewitt is definitely the guy to watch.
Definitely the favorite. Matt Cogar, of course, the American champ. Nathan Waterfield, no slouch at all. He's actually been on Team USA before, and he's teamed himself up with Mitch Hewitt. He wants to improve his game, and look at this here. He's trying to stay with him right now.
4-hit notch, get on his first board. Second 4-hit notch, get on his second board. A very comfortable and perfect board for Mitch Jewett. Nathan Waterfield trying to keep pace with him, but he's not going to catch Mitch Jewett. It's textbook springboard chopping.
And Mitch is doing a great job here as he starts getting into the small wood. See Nathan Waterfield's axe sticking on him a little bit, almost knocked him off of balance. Now he's got to get into this as Mitch Jewett is going to get ready to make his turn to side number 2. He needs to reach over, clean out that far wood so it drives off smoothly on side number 2, and Mitch is getting it done. Actually, look at that, Nathan Waterfield catching up a little bit of ground here, but it's Mitch Jewett bringing things to the end. He's going to clean out his far wood and swing around and start to drive this thing off.
Great job by Nathan Waterfield there as Mitch Jewett opens up the backside a little bit wide. Now he's going in a little bit tighter. Excellent chopping there by Mitch Jewett. Is going to try and take down the 120, and he's going to get just over a minute. There it is, the winning time in the springboard chop, 101.2 by Mitch Jewett. And Nathan Waterfield, an excellent display of springboard chopping. 4-4 climb, just another day at the office there. But just tell me about your drivers up before you make your turn to the backside. You took about 3 or 4?
Yeah, definitely. I was just really making sure to get the far side. I knew I had the lead, so I was just wanting to really make sure of it, so I couldn't go wrong.
And your strategy on the backside, you do a little bit of a wide open, and then you go inside that opening. Just tell me about that strategy.
That's no strategy, Bill. That was just what happened. I didn't mean to take that much wood, but I came off first, so I'll forget the rest.
Well, I've been covering Mitch Jewett and Lumberjacks TV series for over 10 years. He finally makes a mistake, and I think it's part of his strategy. He wins it with a 101.20. But we're back here in Sheffield, Pennsylvania for the Johnny Appleseed Festival. One of the competitors, Nathan Waterfield, is the guy responsible for getting all the wood. Nathan, big competition you got here. Is growing every year. A lot of things go into organizing an event. I know one of the most important things is wood. Tell me the man hours and the work it takes to get in the wood.
Yeah, so this year the competition wood is once again Ohio white pine. It came from a plantation about 5 hours south of here. The reason we get Ohio white pine is it's the most evenly, the most evenly charactered wood from the top to the bottom. So it makes it easier for me to match the wood in each event, and it kind of eliminates the bone factor. You know, a lot of competitions you go to, there could be 10 guys who could win an event, but only 5 of them draw a good block.
We are now heading into the women's standing block chop. In total, we had 15 competitors, 3 heats of 5. We're going to be showing the top 2 heats. This first heat, we got Martha King, who's a graduate of Penn State Mount Alto University, and taking on Nancy Zalewski, who's more of a sawing specialist. Here she is in the chopping game.
And again, standing block chop, not an event that the ladies do a whole lot of. So again, new event for a lot of the girls. Some of them have done this a little bit in college, but again, it's another event, more points towards their overall tally, so they've got to get the job done.
Now, in a game like a standing block chop or any other chopping event, when you're new at it, accuracy is so critically important because you're going to have some power there, but you don't want to waste any energy. You're going to be running out of energy towards the top of this, and you can see Martha King, some pretty good lines there. Nancy has got a lot of power, but, you know, she's got a wide open face there. She's got to work on her accuracy.
The other thing you can notice as well, Bill, they've got their lines drawn on that they actually want to try to follow, so the block comes off quite smoothly. You can see the 2 girls we're looking at here right now are off their lines a fair bit as Nancy moves around to side number 2. That's going to affect them here. You can see right here, Martha's actually a little bit low from where she wants to be in the backside. When it goes to drive it off here in a couple of swings, you're going to realize that she's driving into the bottom, what we call the stump of the wood, and it's not going to come off very smooth.
Now, Martha King is obviously fairly physically fit there. She picks up the pace a little bit here. She's maybe driving a little bit too early and also driving her axe in a little bit straight. She takes one more bottom chip out, and there it is. Martha King winning the first heat of the women's standing block chop in just over a minute with Nancy Zalewski right behind her. Good chop. You seem to struggle on your first side finishing, whether you're going to clean it all out, put some blows in. You went kind of back and forth. Just tell me about the last 6 or 7 strokes on your front side.
Well, I always struggle with that because I have a tough time reading the wood. I haven't been doing this for a very long time. So I guess I was getting a little frantic, a little frazzled because I heard the other girls starting to go around.
Yeah, because you were trying to put some drivers in, then you said, oh, I think I'm going to take one more round, right?
Right, yeah. But I still came off first, so that's all right.
So in this next heat, we're going to be watching Peg Angasser take on Erin Lavoie, as well as several other ladies. But in that last heat, you see a couple things happening wrong there at the very end. Number one, Martha's block, she drives it off with an upswing, which you typically don't want to do, and also Nancy Zalewski's block, it pops right in the air. So, of course, you know that she's actually driving into the stump. So They want to try to correct those things, follow those lines a little bit better, and their chops will go a whole lot faster.
Now, Peg Engasser in this heat probably got more experience in the women's standing block than any other woman on this stage. Erin Lavoie, an excellent chopper, an excellent athlete. She's going to give her a run for the money. And Peg Engasser, probably uncharacteristically, not really following her lines very well. Peg has got to be a really good technical chopper to be able to win these heats. Erin Lavoie, wide open face.
And Erin, look at that, not even breathing hard. She's in great physical condition, which is great. Peg Engasser, she's not a big girl. She's got to use every bit of her strength, and she's doing a great job here as she gets the big chips out and starts getting into the smaller wood, getting ready to drive this off.
Looks like Peg Engasser picking up her pace a little bit. She's chipping a couple more times at the bottom there, ready to drive things off. Both women are trying to drive things off. Erin's got to reach for her far wood. Peg's got to reach for her far wood. And Peg Engasser wins the women's standing block chop with a time of 43.70 over Erin Lavoie. I was watching your cut rather closely there, and it seems that you stuck to your pattern very, very accurate. You were 4, working around a 4. Is that accurate?
Yes, yeah, on 10-inch wood, I can go 2 up, 2 down.
And you didn't deviate from that at all. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you only take 1 driver up before making your turn to the backside, or did you take 2?
I don't remember. I don't know. I have to go to the tape.
Well, with a field with this much talent, it's very impressive that Martha King placed in the top 5 just out of college. But Peg Engasser taking first place in the women's standing block with a 43.7.
And we're back in Sheffield, Pennsylvania for the Johnny Appleseed Festival Lumberjack competition. There's a shot of Rick Satili, the head scorekeeper of the Lumberjack competition. We are heading into the men's standing block chop. In total, there were 40 competitors. We're going to be showing the top 3 heats. This first heat featuring veteran competitor Dave Jewett taking on relative newcomer Adam LaSalle.
2 different sized guys here. Of course, Adam LaSalle, a big, blocky guy from the Midwest, tracked all the way out here to Pennsylvania, taking on Dave Jewett, again, a slimmer, taller guy, but he loves a standing block chop. Acts sticking a little bit here. He won't like that, but he needs to pick up his pace.
Now, at the top of the show, we talked to Mike Slinger, and he said when you have a big competition with a lot of great competitors, you get bigger wood. 14 inches round will definitely separate the men from the boys.
It will, and the guys have to follow their patterns, stay with it right to the end. They can't get a little bit excited and turn too early, or otherwise they're going to wood themselves.
You want to make sure you do all your homework on the front side. Quite often they take 3 hits up, 3 hits down to span the width of the wood. Dave Jewett on his backside, Adam LaSalle right with him. Both guys trying to open up a face and trying to drive things off.
Adam LaSalle has a big advantage with his size. He's a big, blocky man. He's going to start using that to his advantage here as he gets ready to drive this block up. Dave Jewett getting in the small wood, but it's Adam LaSalle taking him down with a time of 42.3.
Great job by Adam LaSalle taking up the veteran Dave Jewett. When you got a 14-inch block, just tell me or describe to me what your pattern is going in.
Well, first of all, it doesn't change anything from a normal 12-inch standing block, but you kind of want to advance it around a little, get into the short wood a little bit quicker so you can see that far wood. At least that's what I tried on the front.
Well, Adam LaSalle clocks in with a 42.30, and with 4 competitors, 4 solid competitors still to come, we're sure that that time is going to fall. This next heat, Arden Cogar Jr. and standing block chop is his specialty. Mitch Jewett, springboard's his specialty, but he knows how to do a standing block as well.
Saw in the background there a little bit earlier, Melvin Lentz, king of the Lumberjacks in this heat as well. But look at Mitch Jewett doing a great job here. Jamie Cogar using his size to his advantage as they both get into the small wood. Jamie has put his drivers in. He's around his side number 2 already, and Mitch is right behind him.
He's right with him, but Jamie Cogar is a faster swinger. He's one of the guys that swings more than 1 stroke per second. Mitch Jewett, always accurate and hitting his marks.
Well, Mitch Jewett used to chop in the hardwood down under, doing a great job here in this big pine. But it's Jamie Cogar that takes it off first with a 28.7 seconds. Mitch Jewett right behind him, but we still have 1 good heat yet to come.
So I counted 13 and 14. Is that part of your plan going in?
I hoped to cut it in 13 and 11, but it took a couple extra hits up in the back because the wood wasn't as good as I'd hoped it would be. So I had to put a few more in to get it to come off.
Now you're one of the few that goes 1 and 1 in the front. Your first 2 hits, 1 up, 1 down. Explain the strategy of that.
I'm probably the strongest and heaviest hitter here, so I can get away with it.
Well, Arden Cogar Jr. just lowered the time to beat by 16 seconds over Adam LaSalle's 42 seconds. This last heat's going to feature 5 excellent choppers, a couple of Canadians, Nathan Waterfield, and we're going to be looking closely at Jason Lenz and Matt Cogar, who's Arden's cousin.
And Matt Cogar, of course, a reigning U.S. champion right now, taking on Jason Lenz. Jason Lenz, the son, of course, of the king of the Lumberjacks, Mel Lenz. He's been taught by the best in the world. And look at him putting a great front in here. He's into the small wood already. Matt Cogar lagging a little bit behind right now.
Nice, clean powerful strokes there by Jason Lenz. Matt Cogar had his axe stick a few times. Matt Cogar well behind. Jason Lenz on his backside, trying to take down Arden Cogar's 28.76. Both guys are into their drivers, and there it is. Jason Lenz wins a standing block chop with a time of 26.49 over a fantastic field of competitors. Matt Cogar struggling. Pretty good race there with 4 other competitors. Just tell me what happened switching from one side to the next. You almost slipped?
Yeah, there's a big block, so there were a lot of wood chips, and I put in a big front and stepped on one coming around there and about bit the dust.
You did real quick work on the backside. Is that because you had a big front on the first side?
Yeah, I was taught from a really young age. You win them from the front, so I took my time and put in a big front and came off really easy in the back.
Well, Jason Lenz from West Virginia wins it with a 26.49. Look at Ben Nicely sneaking in there with a 34.88. He went in a much earlier heat. Every Columbus Day weekend in Sheffield, Pennsylvania, there's the Johnny Appleseed Festival, and we are here for the Lumberjack competition, now into the 10th annual. Competitors come from all over North America, and they are among the best. We are heading into the women's endurance race, and it's 3 different disciplines.
The ladies are going to start out here with a 10-inch buck saw, then they're going to move into an underhand chop, and then finish things off with a single buck.
We had a total of 18 women competing in the women's endurance. We're going to be showing the top 2 heats. This first heat, Denise Ott taking on Kate Witkowski, and it's really a grueling event for the women.
You bet it is. As we start off here with a bow saw event, Kate taking her time. She's going to pace herself, but Denise is turning it on. She's got a really feverish pace here in the bow saw. A lot of rocking, though. She's actually losing a lot of her energy, but it's going to be Kate getting things done first.
You also see Ashley Rooney there in the orange. All 3 women getting to the underhand chop at the exact same time. The bow saw, probably the easiest of the 3 disciplines. This is where they really got to pace themselves.
Pace themselves and actually take their time, make sure their strokes count. You can see here, Katie, she's doing a great job. Her lines are really good on her driver's side. Over here with Denise, doing a great job as she gets into the small wood. She's just trying to keep her pace up. As we see Katie here switch to side number 2.
Denise Ott, veteran competitor of Gus Carlson from Minnesota, trying to take the lead right now. Kate Witkowski in her camouflage there, trying to put the finishing touches on her underhand chop. It's going to be a great close finish as they head into the single block very shortly.
And of course, we expect Kate to be a lot better single buck cutter as she finishes her underhand. Both girls here, it's a neck and neck race right now. They jog over, and it's Kate who is at the first few strokes in the single buck.
16 inches of white pine. This is the grueling part of the event right now. They've completed a bow saw. They've completed an underhand chop. Now they've got to make their way through the misery whip, trying to finish things off in the women's endurance race.
Katie doing a great job here, keeping her head as Denise is just running out of steam. Katie's keeping the pace up, though, when she gets into the smaller wood. She needs to drive this bottom here, heel that saw in, and get it off, and she's going to do it here. It's Katie getting it done in a minute 22.9 as Denise fights her way to the end.
Clearly out of energy after that grueling event. Kate, that was a great race with Denise. You know, it's a little bit difficult to make a transition. Now, you were going into the wood 3rd place at the beginning of the underhand chop. Just tell me about making that transition from sawing over to chopping.
Yeah, this was my first time doing the endurance race, so I knew that the transitions were going to be the most important, and that was the hardest part for me. So it was kind of doing a whole mind transition on working into from sawing to chopping. So.
Now, completing an underhand chop is no easy feat, but not only that, you have to go into one of the most grueling events of any lumberjack sport, the single buck. And now you're out of breath making an inner transition. Tell me about that.
Yeah, underhand's my favorite, so I enjoyed that one, but going into the single, that one's always difficult for me, and it's always exhausting.
Well, there it is, a time of 122.91 set by Kate Witkowski in that first heat. This will be the last heat of the women's endurance race. Erin Lavoie taking on Nancy Zalewski. Also on the stage at this time, Peg Engasser.
Well, this should be a great heat to watch because we know Peg Engasser is in good shape. Erin Lavoie also runs a gym. She's in great shape. We've seen her in a couple earlier heats in the chops come off hardly even breathing hard. So this should be a great race. Peg Engasser, though, a great buck sawyer from New York. And look at her pace. Look at her saw cutting. Peg Engasser, she's done already.
Tremendous job there by Peg and Nancy in the bow saw. Erin Lavoie does not generally do this out west in Spokane, Washington. Peg Engasser into the wood first. Nancy Zalewski into the wood second. Erin Lavoie is going to have to make some ground up here.
And you see Peg Engasser here opens up to a pitch pocket in her wood. It's actually finally dropped off of there. She chops into the smaller wood now. Peg Engasser's got to keep the pace up. Nancy Zalewski using her strength here to her advantage as Peg Engasser makes her turn to side number 2.
Erin Lavoie also on the backside. Nancy on her backside. It's going to be a great race to finish the underhand chop, make it over to the single buck. The single buck is Nancy's strongest event. Erin Lavoie is now in her strongest event right now in the underhand chop. It's as he finishes off, drops her axe, makes her way over to the single buck. Peg Angus are right with her. Nancy in third place.
Erin Lavoie come from behind. She actually caught up and passed both girls in the underhand chop, and now she's off in first right now in the single buck. Can she hold this pace to the end? Erin Lavoie starting to run out of gas. She needs to hold it together as the other two girls also running out of steam here right now. She's got to keep her pace up to finish this endurance race.
The muscles have got to be burning. She's got about 1/3 of the way through that 16 inches of white pine. Erin Lavoie way ahead of it right now. Is she going to beat the 1:22.91 set by Kate Witkowski in the first heat? Erin Lavoie comes down and finishes in a 1.2336. Good enough for second place in the women's endurance race. You were clearly in third place going out of the sawing, but that's not really your strength, right?
You know, we do not bow saw at all back home on the west side, so coming over here, I think I bow saw maybe twice a year. So it's pretty foreign to me. I just set an easy pace, something I can handle, and then really, I knew I had to get after it in the underhand, but I'm okay with that, and then the single.
Yeah, the single is certainly a strength of yours as well, but when you're in third place, you just relax and say, I can catch them on the underhand.
You have to. I have no other option, you know.
What a tremendous competition, the women's endurance race. Kate Witkowski taking it with a 122, but all five in the top board there within 5 seconds of each other.
And the crown pivotal point today focuses on Matt Cogar, the American champ, typically strong in the standing block chop, struggles to a 9th place finish.
And we are now 2/3 of the way through the competition here at the Lumberjack competition at the Johnny Appleseed Festival. We now have a Canadian leading the way with 350 points. Mitch Jewett from British Columbia. All the guys from the States are going to be trying to track him down.
And the K100 Lumberjack of the day is a Lumberjill. It's Kate Witkowski finishing first place in the women's endurance race with a time of 1:22.
And this is a spectacular event put on every year during the Thanksgiving Day weekend in Canada and Columbus Day weekend in the United States. It's the Johnny Appleseed Festival, put on by Nathan Waterfield, Sandy Satili, and Rick Satili. Come back again next week. It'll be time for Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Quick Dam, the new alternative to heavy sandbags. Yamaha, rev your heart.
Single buck is actually a single event, but it takes two people. It takes the sawyer who runs a huge saw through a big piece of wood, and it takes a wedger. It could be something as simple as a piece of wood that you would wedge down in between the cut and the piece of wood to release the tension, or you could use a tree felling wedge. Simply wait for the cut to start, you'd watch the saw disappear, and then you start knocking this down, releasing the compression. I do it for my husband, and my husband does it for me. He also coaches me through the event, so while he's wedging for me, he's also coaching. It's a huge, huge job.